integration circuits. That took 4 months. And that was 4 months end of 2015, end of 2005, early 2006.
Got it. So that was the mill, not your plant, but that was the actual mill at the mine site in Voisey Bay, 2005. That had the 4 month ramp up.
Yeah, it was not my direct accountability, but I was responsible as part of the senior management team, but not directly accountable for the output of the mill.
Okay, so it sounds like in terms of, if you think of it as a total system, the mill was what controlled, the mill controlled the overall system output. It was like the limiting factor was getting the mill production ramped up as opposed to getting like everything working with the mining.
Correct. Yeah.
Great. Very helpful. Okay. Any other thoughts on sort of integration between mine and mill with the system in your plant?
I think there's an integration thing that has happened over the last year, more so at Voisey's Bay and Long Harbor since my departure from the company. It started in 2016. I was still at Long Harbor at the time, and there was a shift. The original flow sheet was finished, and we shifted over to the new flow sheet, which required 100% Voisey's Bay concentrate, and then we were into a ramp-up scenario whereby the output of Long Harbor was tied to the input from Voisey's Bay. The other thing that Voisey's Bay had going against it, if you will, was a production output cap. They could only ship out so many tons of concentrate because of the Voisey's Bay development agreement with the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. So through 2016 in particular, there was a very, very tight constraint on how much Voisey's Bay material could be shipped to Sudbury versus how much could be shipped to Long Harbor. So there was a monthly production target that was pretty aggressive, and by I think the mid to the end of the year, Voisey's Bay was in a situation where it had reached its export cap, and all concentrate had to come to Long Harbor. So I know that was a significant issue in 2016. It really drove behavior. It drove resourcing and production planning and tracking. I know by the end of the year, last year, they had sort of achieved synergy where the output of Voisey's Bay was 100% going to Long Harbor, and that was achieved within a year.
Okay. What was the challenge specifically that the export cap caused? It was that they were. I'm just not clear on what I understand that there was sort of a certain amount they had to send to Sudbury and only so much they could send to Long Harbor.
Oh, so the issue is that under the development agreement, there's only so many thousands of tons that Voisey's Bay is allowed to export outside the province without going through Long Harbor first. So that started in 2005, and so you can imagine after 10 years of exporting concentrate, that cap was pretty close to its limit.
Right.
So by 2016, there was only a few tons remaining that they were allowed to ship externally. So they needed to continue to operate the mine. You know, they couldn't ship it out early in the year and find themselves having to shut down the mine because that would be very costly. They didn't want to turn down the rate so low as to reduce cash flow, because the whole cash flow process at the Voisey's Bay mine is what's paying for Long Harbor operation. So it was a fine balance between how much could be shipped out to generate cash before Long Harbor had reached a steady operating rate.
Got it. I understand now.
The mine balance could continue to go to Long Harbor, yeah.
Got it. So they said, okay, there's only so much more we can ship out, not to Long